Good afternoon. I'm FOX29 meteorologist Kathy Orr. We have a tornado warning that's been issued for Berks and Lehigh counties until 2:45 this afternoon. You can see the cell right here that was originally in Berks County, now moving toward the north and east into Lehigh County near Greenwich along 78 and moving toward the northeast. This just in from the National Weather Service. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located about 14 miles southeast of Temecula, moving northeast at 15 miles an hour. So this area could include New Tripoli and Wanamaker. So it's moving toward the northeast very quickly. And right now we're talking about it moving at about 25 miles an hour, expected to slow down to about 15 miles an hour. So this is the cell that we're talking about. Also another severe cell moving toward Lehigh and also Northampton County, where a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued as well. So let's take a look at this cell. We're talking about this area right here. You can see if I take a zoom in at Statesville, now moving toward the northeast at 15 miles an hour. And if we put a tracker on that, we can see how quickly this is going to be moving toward the northeast. It is dumping a torrential amount of rain. We're going to take a look at the hail tracker and see if there's any hail associated with this storm. Typically, we see the severe thunderstorm giving way to also some hail, as well as also a debris signature with this, if this is indeed a tornado. So this is the area that we're talking about. This is the severe thunderstorm area that turned into a potential tornado right along 78, including Albany, even Slateville, Trexler, into Lynn, and heading right toward Roberts Corners. This is the northern part, you can see, of Lehigh County and also into Berks County. So this cell, which was a severe thunderstorm, a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, Doppler radar by the and there is potential for hail in this as well. So as we take a look at our hail tracker, we can see if there's any hail associated with it or shear. This is a shear marker. This is why this storm was issued as a potential tornado. When we see this blue, this is an indication in the track of that cell as it moves toward the northeast that there's some type of rotation. There's wind that as you go up into the atmosphere, it's traveling at different speeds and directions as you go up higher and higher into the air. And this shear tracker is why they put out that severe thunderstorm warning and then potential tornado warning, because this shows some twist in the atmosphere. Right along 143 north of 78, if you're familiar with this area, if you head out to the airport, of course, that the Lehigh County Airport, or if you're heading to Dorney Park, you're very familiar with 78. This is all moving toward the northeast in the northern parts of Lehigh County. If I shift gears here and go back to the radar, you'll be able to see the heavy rain and lightning associated with this. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain associated with it, because it is obviously a tropical air mass that is over us right now. So as we continue to look at this storm and continue to track this storm, we'll be able to see exactly where this is going to be headed as it moves toward the northeast. Now, once again, that tornado warning in effect for Berks County and also Lehigh counties, that is until 2:45 this afternoon. Take cover. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles could potentially occur. Tree damage is likely in this as well, as in any type of severe thunderstorm. We have to be very careful of any type of tree damage that could fall on homes or cars or create big problems associated with that. So we're going to keep a careful eye on that as well. As we continue to look at this particular storm, we go into Doppler radar mode, and you can see right now the heavy rain associated with this in Lynn and Slatesville, all this moving toward the northeast. Some very heavy rain as well in the western part of Berks County that is moving toward the northeast as well. It's moving so slowly. That is the big problem with this. When you're going to be seeing something move so slow, then you have the potential for flooding, some severe flooding associated with this as well, and that's what we're concerned about. So we're going to do a track on this to see how fast it's moving in the towns that are going to be in danger as a result of this, and we'll be able to see exactly where this storm is going to be potentially affecting. Now, it's moving so slowly toward the northeast right now, as we mentioned, now at 15 miles an hour, and as we take a look at that, you can see in Linville at about 224, which is imminent, and Worsley Corner at about 228, Lehigh Furnace at about 231. Right now, this packing some damaging winds associated with it, torrential downpours that will be leading to flooding as well. So if you're in the vicinity of parts of Upper Berks and into Upper Lehigh County, please be aware of a potential for a rain-wrapped tornado. The rain is coming down so hard, of course, we have damaging winds expected in this as well, and it's moving toward the northeast very slowly at about 15 miles an hour. Now, as it does, associated with this, obviously, if you know anybody that's driving in this area, please ask them to, turn off, go off to the side of the road and wait until the dangerous storm passes. Make sure that they have somewhere to go and wait until the heavy rain has ended. So I'm going to widen out so you can see the storm right here moving toward the northeast, and I can show you the exact area. If you have anyone that's in this area, you can see right here, it is north of 78. Very familiar if you're heading up anywhere in the Lehigh Valley. And you can see some flooding concerns highlighted in green already as you head toward the Poconos. This is the area of the Poconos as well, and very close to all the summer activities up in the Poconos. So to the north and west of the Philadelphia area, we have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect, and of course a warning in effect right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. On top of this, still seeing those threatening skies in Reading. In Lehigh, the Lehigh County camera that we have is in Allentown, where we're seeing those towering cumulus clouds, but the heavier rain and the tornado is north of this area, but you can see the towering cumulus associated with this storm well to the north of Allentown. So you can see that for miles as you move toward the north and east of this particular area. So the areas of concern that we're looking at are Roberts Corners, we're looking at Lynn, we're looking at some of these smaller communities that you can see along the highway north of 78. And as we take a closer look with this, a lot of lightning associated with it, damaging winds. If you are in this vicinity, make sure you go to an interior room of your home and wait until this dangerous storm passes, because that is obviously the main concern here, is to keep everyone safe. As we look a little bit closer, this other cell, I'm going to outline this. This is a little bit of what we call a bow echo, where the radar actually sticks out a little bit farther than normal. And when we look at this, it typically means that there is some wind damage associated with this. So this is in the area right along 78, which is very well traveled on the way to the airport, Dorney Park. If you're going anywhere in the Lehigh Valley for recreation, you can see this. This is bowing out. It's when the radar signature pushes, looks like it's pushing or bulging eastward, and that is an indication of some damaging winds. So right along 78 east or west, and then our tornado threat obviously to the north and west of Lynn right now, moving toward the northeast at about 15 miles an hour. Now as we take a closer look, winds, when we say damaging winds, we're talking about 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. We're also talking about the threat of damaging hail that we've seen in many storms, and these storms do have a history of hail. Over the past several hours, we have seen and heard reports of that. And if I take this off so you can see this area right now through Albany, stretching through Slateville and Lynn, that is our main area of concern. So as we look at this closer, you can see that the heavy rain right now really focused right here. As we get a little bit closer, moving toward the northeast, this is our potential area right along Mountain House Road, Spring House Road, Sachs Drive, Fort Everest Road. This is in the northern part of the county here where the heaviest rain has been falling, and we're seeing it's just downpouring with that potential tornado. Once again, that tornado warning in effect for Berks and Lehigh counties until 2:45 this afternoon. The National Weather Service put this out saying in north central Berks County and northwestern Lehigh County, the big concern was for a rotating thunderstorm that was indicated on Doppler radar, producing a tornado that was moving toward the northeast now at 15 miles an hour. The hazard, obviously, damaging winds associated with the tornado and quarter-size hail. The storm has a history of hail, obviously torrential wind, and also rain that could create flooding on these area roads. This is moving so slow. We rarely see a potential tornado moving that slow, but in this humid air mass, nothing is moving that quickly. So flooding is a huge concern on top of the damaging wind threat as well. So we'll continue to keep you monitored on this cell. We're also watching this other cell that is moving a little bit closer into Berks County, and it's moving closer to the northwestern corner of Lehigh County as well. Heavy rain associated with this. Right now, not hearing anything about rotation with this, but we will let you know if we do. I'm going to go back and show you the area that we're talking about here. This is the tornado warning area. Right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That whole area highlighted in orange. That includes parts of the Poconos, Monroe, and Carbon County. And of course, we also have this tornado warning. So we're watching this cell that is moving toward the north and the east. The warning goes until 2:45 this afternoon. Along with this, obviously, damaging winds and the potential for some hail as well. So we're going to continue to track this and the damaging winds associated with it as it moves toward the north and toward the east. So as we look at this, the areas of concern in the path of this particular storm, we have Statesville, we have Lynn, we have Albany, with all this activity moving toward the northeast. On a wider scale, the rest of the area is relatively quiet. We have some storms coming up from the south in the Wilmington area, up the I-95 corridor, a few spotty cells that are popping up with just torrential rain in parts of Bucks County as well, moving toward the northeast. They are heading into Mercer County and then onward toward central New Jersey. And that's really it for the Philadelphia area right now. The main threat is this in the Lehigh Valley and in the Poconos, where we've seen a lot of activity for the past couple of hours. And we're watching this bow echo that is going to be a concern as well, that is bulging out of our radar here. And as we get closer, this is moving a little bit faster, this cell right here, and that is an indication of damaging winds. This would be straight line thunderstorm winds pushing toward the same area. I think what's going to happen today is we're going to be seeing some of these storms doing what we call training. That means moving over the same area again and again, and that is going to compound the amount of rain we see across the Delaware Valley, and that is going to create a problem. So flooding downpours with this humid air mass, it feels tropical outside. So aside for the potential for a tornado, you also have the potential for some flooding. So we always say, turn around, don't drown. Never drive across a road that is covered with water. Obviously, flooding can happen very quickly when you see these rain rates. And as we look at the rate of rain, I think we're going to see that these rain rates are pretty significant. We're looking at rain rates at about 2 inches an hour at least when we look at this. Let's see. We're going to take a look over here and take a look at these rain rate potentials, because I have a feeling we're going to be seeing even higher rates as we go through the afternoon. So with our radar, we can take a look and see how hard this rain is going to be coming down. So I've seen a couple reports of rain rates of at least 2 inches an hour with this. Thank goodness these storms aren't staying over the same area that long. But we are seeing the heavy rain that is going to be definitely flooding in those poor drainage areas very quickly across our region. These two cells beginning to merge here, and you can see the coverage associated with it. When I add the lightning, you can see thunderstorms associated with that as well. I mean, right now we're talking about hundreds of lightning strikes at least in this particular cell. So we have the concern of the tornado, we have concern of the heavy rain, and we also have the concern of hundreds of lightning strikes associated with this particular cell and the secondary cell that is moving toward the east as well. So a lot going on throughout the day today. That tornado warning for parts of central northern Berks County and northern parts of Lehigh County goes until 2:45 this afternoon. We saw the markers. One of them we look for is shear. Shear means that there's different wind speeds and different heights in the atmosphere. And when they're all going different ways, that's what creates the spin that we are seeing this afternoon. Doppler radar indicated, but obviously the potential for some damaging winds associated with this, torrential rain, hail, as well as many lightning strikes. Only 20% of all the lightning that occurs is cloud to ground, but we obviously still see people struck by lightning and damaged because of lightning. So trees potentially coming down as well in this particular area. So I mentioned we have to go till 2:45 with this warning. We're going to continue to look at this area, to look at the cell. We have to take the lightning off to be able to even see it, because the lightning is so prolific with this particular storm. And as we continue to monitor, you'll be able to see as this storm moves, it's not going that fast. The last hour is continued to kind of explode over this particular area of central northern Berks County and into the northwestern corner of Lehigh County. So the area right now that we're watching, obviously we have very heavy rain over the northwestern part of the county right now, especially through Slatesville. And as we go through Roberts Corners, as we go through Lynn, this was the area of concern through Trexler. This is where we're seeing rain that's falling at such a high rate that it will actually be hard to be driving because of how difficult it actually is to see because of that rain. So as we widen out a little bit, we'll be able to see how quickly this is moving toward the north and the east. So the threat continues until 2:45 this afternoon for this area. We did talk about some things associated with this, the possibility of hail with this, the possibility of seeing some shear. We saw that, but now as we try to look for the hail associated with it, there it is. Now this is another thing that we're looking for. When you see the light blue indicates some small hail. The blue would be possibly pea-size hail. And when you see that dark blue right along 78, this is the trail that we're looking for, and this is the direction of the storm. So this is the trail of when the National Weather Service saw the rotating thunderstorm on Doppler radar. This was a giveaway that, oh boy, we have some large hail that is associated with this. This is a severe cell, but it potentially could be a tornado. Right to the north of Lenhartsville, right along 78, north of Greenwich as well, in the area right now of Albany. I mentioned Slatesville, I mentioned Lynn, so this is the area potential as it moved toward the northeast, dumping inches of rain associated with it and then expanding. So you have hail, you have torrential downpours, you have damaging winds, and everything moving slowly. So flooding is going to be a big concern. So if there are any usual areas that you would be concerned about, it would be a good idea to stay off the roads. Now we are getting word that the tornado warning has been expired, so now the National Weather Service will just go back to issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for the area and keep the watch in place as we go through the afternoon. So we'll take a look at that, make sure that that has expired, and go back to our Doppler radar and take a peek here, and we will be able to see if our warning has indeed been expired. And it looks like, yes, we are back to a severe thunderstorm warning. So the warning has expired. We are back to a severe thunderstorm warning, and through 2:45 for Carbon, Lehigh, Monroe, and Northampton counties. So that is latest from the Weather Center. If any more tornadic activity pops up, we'll be the first to let you know. But now we'll go back to regular programming, and stay safe out there tonight. Good afternoon. I'm Fox 29 meteorologist Kathy Orr. An update on the severe weather right now. Still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Berks and Lehigh counties until 3:15. Over 2,000 lightning strikes, close to 3,000 lightning strikes in that area of severe weather. That threat continues with damaging winds and the potential for large hail until 3:15 this afternoon. Is moving toward the northeast with torrential downpours. Most of the area under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock tonight. In those severe storms, downpours will cause flooding, wind gusts will cause damage, and storms will have hail, potentially large hail associated with them. Next 12 hours, we expect some more storms to be firing up during the evening rush and into the evening, with the threat to end around 9 o'clock. We'll have an update at 4 o'clock and full team coverage at 5. We'll see you then. Good afternoon, everyone. Breaking back into programming with a new tornado warning. This tornado warning in effect now for Northampton County in Pennsylvania. I'm going to take a zoom into the area of concern here. That is the cell right now. You can see the location in Upper Mount Bethel, moving toward Route 80, and it's moving toward the northeast toward Blairstown. So this is the very latest from the National Weather Service. Tornado warning for northeastern Northampton County in eastern Pennsylvania. Shortly, a few moments ago, a severe thunderstorm thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Belvedere, or 18 miles northeast of Easton. We all know where Easton is, the Crayola factory is there. And it's moving toward the north at about 25 miles an hour. So this one a little bit faster, moving toward the north. It's going to cross right over 80 on its way toward the north and toward the east. So we're going to do a little bit of a check on this one, and we can actually track exactly where it's going to go. If I remove the radar, you'll be able to see the area of concern. This is the tornado warning area. This tornado warning is in effect until 3:30 this afternoon. It was a Doppler radar indicated tornado, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. And as we take a look at this, these are the areas of concern. The tornado could be in the area of Belvedere, Hope, Roxburgh, Columbia, Delaware Water Gap, and Portland. Once again, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is in this area in Northampton County, moving toward the north at 25 miles an hour. So as we take a look at the area of concern here, we're also going to take a look at the hail tracker to see what is associated with this particular storm. This is the hail that was indicated, a history of hail at least an inch in diameter with some of these storms. So there is the hail that fell with this particular storm. We're going to also look at the shear. The shear, of course, is the wind as you go up into the atmosphere, changing directions and speed, an indication of having some type of rotation. And here it is in the area of Lake Harmony into, or I should say Harmony rather, lower Mount Bethel, moving toward the north and the east. And you can see as it does, you can see this brighter blue, an indication of some shear. So that's why the National Weather Service indicated that it could possibly be a rotating thunderstorm that could cause a tornado. If we go back to the Doppler radar, this is the area we're looking at. I mean, there is a tremendous amount of lightning associated with this and also heavy rain associated with this, so it could be a rain-wrapped tornado. So this tornado warning in effect until 3:30 this afternoon, moving toward the north at 25 miles an hour. And as we take a storm track on that, we can show you exactly the areas of concern and where this storm is moving toward the north at 25 miles an hour. So at that speed, it will be in and out of communities at a fairly good rate. So we're first going to zoom out, show you this area of concern here in the warning area. That is the cell, and I'm just going to track this so we can see which communities it is going to be in. If you are in this area, please get to an interior room of your home away from the windows and stay there until this dangerous storm passes. We do have some ore cells that are moving toward the area, so we're going to keep a careful eye on that as well. We're looking at the possibility of some large hail with this, and it is moving at a fairly good clip considering that it is just developed just moments ago. There's heavy rain associated with this, and there is definitely some damaging winds associated with that. So if we look to the north at 25 miles an hour, the areas of concern are Portland. It will be in the area of Portland at about 3:13. It will be in Knowlton at approximately 3:17, and Brownings at 3:18, the Delaware Water Gap at about 3:24, and the Minnesink Hills at about 3:27. This storm is moving toward the north at about 25 miles an hour. These are the areas in its path. Once again, the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for northeastern Northampton County in eastern Pennsylvania until 3:30 this afternoon. Associated with this, obviously, torrential downpours, hundreds of lightning strikes, and the potential for flooding. I mean, these storms are moving at about 15 to 25 miles an hour. So at that speed, it could dump a lot of rain in a short period of time. So when we're looking at severe thunderstorms that are potentially tornadic, first we obviously see a thunderstorm, then the thunderstorm has hail, then we see the shear indicating that the storm has all of those components, and then of course we look for the rotating thunderstorm. That was indicated on Doppler radar at the National Weather Service, and this storm is moving toward the north, but very slowly, and in this very humid air mass. As soon as it rains, it is going to pour with this humidity. So we're going to watch this storm lift to the north, and we're going to keep an eye on how long it is going to stay in that potential tornadic state by the National Weather Service. So we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, as we go back to our Doppler radar and we put this into motion, you'll be able to see the speed at which these storms are moving as we widen out. So this is the area of concern here. Mainly, we're looking at the storms that have been going over the same area for a while. The same area to the north and east of Philadelphia, through Berks County, through Lehigh County, where we still have a severe thunderstorm. And you can see all of this moving toward the northeast. And now we're looking at this part of Northampton County very carefully, because that is the area of concern. So the cell moved out of Easton. Now it's moving toward the north, and you can see it extending a little bit farther into Northampton County, the northeastern corner, and moving a little bit farther toward Warren County in New Jersey. But this is the area of concern right now. We have additional thunderstorms and potential for some damaging winds in the Lehigh Valley as well. I want to show you this cell really quick. This indication right now, this cell, this is heading toward Allentown. That is bowing, an indication of potential wind damage as this heads across the northeast extension just to the north of 78 in Allentown. So that is a potential severe component as well. But the focus right now is on this tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service between now and 3:30 for Northampton and Warren counties. Northampton, of course, in Pennsylvania, and Warren County in New Jersey through Northampton County, as we're concerned about this particular cell. There is additional thunderstorms on the backside of this, moving toward the north, and you can see this cell moving right now out of Northampton to Warren County. So this cell moving at about 25 miles an hour, which is, you know, slow to moderate speed, faster than the last tornado warning that we saw. We have an additional severe thunderstorm to the west in Warren County, so keep an eye on that. And of course, there is our cell in Easton. Here's a look at our Allentown camera right now. You can see with that cell that has potential wind damage right there. I think I have to go this way to look at that. But you can see the ominous clouds associated with that. So if you live in the Allentown area, you do have some strong to severe thunderstorms with damaging winds moving your way. Obviously, we're looking at the radar. We're seeing some bowing on the radar, and that means that you could see some damaging winds associated with that. This is our tornado warning in effect until 3:30 this afternoon for Northampton and Warren counties. We're going to watch this cell until it gets out of the county. As we zoom out, you can see the area of concern that we're looking at right here in the warning area. This is it right here. It's right in the corner near Upper Mount Bethel to the north of Easton. If I add the radar, you can see the area that we're talking about, and that is moving slowly but surely out of the area and into Warren County, but we're going to continue to track this. So if you look really closely, we're talking about the area also between Portland, right around Route 46, let's see, if I can zoom in a little bit closer, you can see 512, all this moving toward the northeast. So it is moving toward the north-northeast in the area of Portland. Route 80, you're familiar with that if you head toward the Lehigh Valley or the Poconos. A lot of great summer activities up there. And once again, just heavy rain associated with this, the potential for damaging, rotating, tornadic activity and winds, damaging winds. And also we've seen hail associated with the past severe storms that could be large in diameter, some measuring about 1/2 inch to over 1.25 inches size hail with these particular storms. So that tornado warning in effect for Northampton and Warren counties, that's until 3:30 this afternoon. I mentioned the towns before that were in the path of this storm: Belvedere, Hope, Roxborough, Columbia, Delaware, Water Gap, and Portland. So right now, the storm over Portland, that is where we're looking right now as it continues to move toward the north. So I think in the next 10 minutes or so, we should be out of this imminent danger. But for now, we're keeping an eye on this. We also have, obviously, downpours associated with it and frequent lightning. The last cell that we saw come close had thousands of lightning strikes. This has a lot of lightning associated with it as well. We're concerned about people going out on the road. If you live anywhere in this area, please wait, hold off your travel plans till the storms move out of your area. And obviously, it's a little bit drier out there, so you don't run across any flooding on area roads. That's a big concern as well. These cells have been moving slow enough to dump a lot of rain in a very short period of time. So flooding concerns along with wind damage, and of course the winds can take down trees as well to create some additional hazards with these storms moving through today. The atmosphere is so saturated that flooding is a huge concern, along with any type of tornadic wind damage as well. We have more cells that are going to be developing throughout the afternoon. It's just going to be one of those days with these types of storms moving through the Delaware Valley. We're going to continue to track it as well if anything else should develop. We're looking right now at the warning area through Northampton County, and also you can see this moving through into Warren County as well. So we're going to take a closer look right here. We also have a tornado warning, it looks like right here, for Hunterdon and Somerset County until 3:45. Of course, that's in South Jersey, but just wanted to make you aware of that if you have any interest there. This tornado warning is in effect for Northampton County in Pennsylvania, and of course Warren County in New Jersey until 3:30. This is Upper Mount Bethel. That's what we're looking at right now. That is still in Northampton County, and we're still seeing some activity there right now. And of course, we'll let you know when this threat passes, but it is still in that Northampton County area, so we want you to be aware of that. As we watch this storm, I mean, the areas that are involved in this are obviously to the north of Route 78 in Northampton County, but we also have additional storms that are popping up to the west. So additional storms in Lehigh, and you can see even in North Whitehall that are moving toward the northeast. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. Let's see, for Monroe, Northampton, Sussex, and Warren counties. So it looks like this cell has been allowed to expire. The National Weather Service has downgraded it to a, there it is. It says, let's see, Northampton and Warren until 3:30. And then I just saw a new storm issued. I want to make sure a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for the area. Can I have confirmation on that in the control room? We have this tornado warning until 3:30, and I just saw another warning pop up for till 3:45 as a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, the 3:45 is Hunterdon and Somerset, and we still have 3:30 for Northampton. Okay, thank you very much. So we still have this tornado warning in effect for Northampton County, Warren counties in New Jersey. You can see heavy rain associated with this. We're in the northeastern corner of Northampton County, moving toward the north at 25 miles an hour. So it's just about out of Northampton County, not quite yet, but very close, with additional storms on the backside of this in Lehigh County and even in Berks County, moving toward the northeast. So even though right now these are just heavy rainmakers, it's going to be on top of what we're seeing right now in this particular area. As we take a closer look, you'll be able to see the areas that we're concerned about with this storm as it moves toward the north. It's moving at 25 miles an hour. So if you live in this area, just try to stay away from the interior windows, exterior windows, go to an interior room of your home and wait until this storm passes. I'm going to take a look at the hail tracker. That's a good indication if we're seeing any weakening of this particular storm, and then we'll be able to track. You can see still seeing some hail indicated near the areas of Stone Church and Upper Mount Bethel there, even extending over a little bit farther to the east, heading into the New Jersey side. So still some hail associated with this as the storm continues to move toward the northeast. If you're going to be traveling, have any travel plans, please try to make them a little bit later this afternoon as this storm passes, because these contain torrential downpours, rain rates of 2 to 3 inches an hour associated with this. So not only potential for a tornado maker and damaging winds, large hail associated with this, but also we're talking about downpours along 46, moving along 80 as well, and moving toward the northeast into New Jersey and Blairstown. So all this moving out of Pennsylvania toward the Jersey side within the next couple of minutes, but still seeing some very heavy rain as you move to the west, and that's going to be moving over the same area again, compounding those impacts of potential for flooding. So if you know anybody that's got to be driving through the Lehigh Valley in the next several hours, please tell them to hold off and wait until these storms pass. The entire region is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock tonight, so that means this threat is not going to end. It's going to continue through the afternoon and into the evening. Lots of lightning associated with this as well that can take down trees and power lines, so that's something that we have to be watchful of as well. And once again, try to just stay off the roads. We always say turn around, don't drown, just making sure that everyone is safe and stays off the roads while these storms are occurring, because obviously they can be quite dangerous as well. So this is the area of concern right here. We're looking at Northampton County, and the storm is still in this particular area. We're waiting for that storm to cross over into New Jersey. Right now it is still on the Pennsylvania side, and we're going to continue to watch this. You can see the area of concern, the magenta right there. As we continue to track this storm, when we run a tracker on it, we can show you where it's going to be going as it moves toward the north at 25 miles an hour. So we'll draw this track lifting toward the north, and we'll see our towns. 325, it will be in Polkville, and it will be crossing right over 80 imminently in the next probably minute or so as the storm continues to move toward the northeast. As we take a look at our shear tracker, we'll continue to see how strong that is. We're still seeing some shear to the south of the area associated with this, and this is a good indication that the storm is still fairly strong. It has shear, which means that as you go up higher in the atmosphere, you have winds that are traveling in different speeds and direction, which helps to create a rotation. So this could be the work of a weak tornado in the area of northeastern part of Northampton County and moving into South Jersey as we speak. So that's something that we have to be wary of and keep a lookout after. Upper Mount Bethel, not seeing much in the way of shear there. To the south of that area is where we're really seeing the shear at this point. So as we go back to Doppler radar, looking at the intensity of the storm as it moves toward the northeast, you can see still seeing some very heavy rain associated with the storm, like torrential downpours. We have strong winds associated with this as well. 60, 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds, associated with this. And we'll continue to watch as the storm progresses toward the north. It's moving at about 25 miles an hour, but it seems to have slowed down as we continue to watch this. We're watching it move from the north and west of the area, now moving through the Lehigh Valley and heading over toward Jersey. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect, as I mentioned, until 9 o'clock tonight. In these severe storms, downpours will cause flooding, wind gust will cause damage, and of course storms will have hail. We've had several different reports of the hail that has been reported, anywhere from quarter-size hail to as much as even an 1.25 inch size hail. So that would be closer to a ping pong size hail associated with this storm. Here are the storms marching toward the northeast. There are several of them. Severe thunderstorms in parts of upper Berks County, upper parts of Lehigh County, and then this particular tornado warning in Northampton County. And as we continue to watch this, we're looking at the strongest part of the storm moving into Knowlton right now, into New Jersey, and that is going to continue to move toward the north. Some strong winds and heavy rain still in the northeastern corner of Berks County and into Lehigh County, and you can see the cell moving out of Northampton County right here. So still seeing some heavy rain in northeastern Northampton County, but it looks like the heavier part of the storm is moving into New Jersey now as we speak. It is crossing over Route 80, and it is moving over 46 over Portland. So it looks like it is exiting Northampton County as we speak, and will continue to move into New Jersey. We're just going to keep a careful eye on this as it moves into New Jersey and out of the area. So that tornado warning will continue as we go over the next several minutes into Warren County. The tornado warning quite likely will be allowed to expire at 3:30 this afternoon or earlier. As we take a wider view, you can see this more storms moving in from the west And these storms are going to potentially be severe storms. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for the upper part of, let's say, Lehigh County and into the upper part of Northampton County. And that one severe cell has moved out. We're going to track this cell right here. So we have the tornadic potential right here moving out, moving toward the Jersey side. And then we have an additional cell right here moving a little bit closer as we go into the Poconos, just to the north of Northampton County as well. So a lot of activity in the Lehigh Valley and in the Poconos over the next couple of hours. That activity is expected to shift toward Philadelphia's northern western suburbs as we go through the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hours. So we still have to be wary of severe thunderstorms, even the potential for an isolated tornado as we go through the next several hours into the evening. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. So it's not just the wind, it's not just the hail, but it's going to be the flooding in any of these storms that train, that kind of go over the same area time and time again. So this cell beginning to exit Northampton County, another cell moving in with very heavy rain and the potential for damaging winds. I'm going to ask the control room. The cell looks to be moving out of the northeastern part of Northampton County. I know we have that warning in effect until 3:30, but I think we're clear for Northampton right now. Can I have confirmation? Yeah, great, thank you. All right, so this tornado warning will be expiring for Northampton County moving into Jersey. We're going to keep an eye on this cell, still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern Northampton County. That's the latest from the Weather Center. Of course, we will have an update at 4 o'clock and team coverage at 5. Let's go back to regularly scheduled programming. Have a safe day.